morning.
Hello, Michael. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Donald? It's a pleasure to finally meet you. I have to apologize that I have rescheduled your interview for many times over the month. But the thing is, which is actually matching the topic what we are trying to talk about today, because I've been very busy pitching my new business to my investor. It was a disaster. So it is a great time that I can have a coach Donald to come to our show and tell us how to do pitching for your startups or your own business when you try to get some funding or get some strategic investors. So welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so thank you for having me. What we work on primarily is we help startups, leaders, entrepreneurs, organizations, client-facing executives go out there and perform better. That usually is in the form of a pitch, a sales presentation, or oftentimes you see them as an idea which they want to go and propose for senior management. Now, all that really relies on how they go and pitch their offering to the audience. And what we do is we help them to go out there and make that pitch as impactful as they can by leveraging their knowledge, but also by making them speak and deliver in a way which the audience resonates best with.
For startups, most of the 20s, they have no experience in pitching the VC investors. The last time I remember, I have a startup company owned by my cousin, and actually the whole idea came from me, but he's the CEO, so he has to pitch the Hong Kong Science and Technology Park for the funding to get into their incubator program. So he was so nervous. Even he was like 30 something, but he has never really run his own business. So psychologically, he was so scared that what kind of question they are going to ask, and what will we fail if we presented 1 or 2 points failed. We didn't really tell the story well. Is it the life and death section or what? What should we do? I mean, how we should face it? Do you have any cases or any project on hand or stories you want to tell us?
Well, let me tell you a more lighthearted story, if I can. I'm going to share the screen over here, and I'll bring your attention to this gentleman.
All right.
Many of us in this world would know of Stephen Curry. He is regarded as one of the greatest NBA players ever to come onto the basketball court.
Yes.
3-time NBA champion, 2-time voted league's MVP. One of those times, he was voted MVP unanimously, which no man has ever achieved in the history of the NBA.
Wow.
And at the time, when he was working his way up, he was very different than what we see of now. Mm-hmm. Let me take you back to the year 2013. At the time, Stephen Curry was a lot skinnier, a lot thinner, and a lot less well-known. And his then current sponsor was Nike. Nike had to pitch Stephen Curry to re-sign a contract with him to re-engage for next coming years. But up to this pitch, there were rumors that Nike were not as interested in Stephen Curry as they were interested in other players. Because in Nike's minds, they have a list, a tier of players. Tier 1 players in the eyes of Nike were players such as LeBron James, Anthony Davis,
right,
or up-and-coming Kyrie Irving. In the minds of Nike, Stephen Curry was only a tier 2 player at best. And they showed it too when they went and showed up to pitch to Stephen Curry. At the pitch, they showed up late. They had someone who wasn't as senior. And they had someone who didn't even know how to pronounce his name correctly. Person that was pitching from Nike kept calling Stephen Curry Stephen Curry. And if you're laughing, many people will know that that's really one way to rub him the wrong way. And to make matters worse, during the pitch, the PowerPoint slides that Nike was using, they left the name Kevin Durant on the bottom of the slide. At that point, Stephen Curry just started to lose attention. But he asked one question just to be polite. At the end of the pitch, he didn't ask how much money Nike was going to give him. He asked Nike one question. He said, "Can I do a basketball camp with you together with Nike in the summer?" Now, why a basketball camp? Because a basketball camp is how players go out there and reach out to the next generation, the youth. And for Stephen Curry, that's how he learned to go and get into basketball when he was at a young age. So when usually companies like Nike, they team up with top tier players to offer basketball camps, it's a matter of recognition, of face. It's also a way that basketball players can go out there and help the future generation. So that's what Stefan really wanted to work on with Nike. But Nike didn't promise him that. And so with that, without that promise, Nike's pitch fell apart, and so did their relationship. Okay, so enter Under Armour. Their pitch to Stephen Curry is very simple. We believe in you. And they really showed it too. After years of signing Stephen Curry on board, they released 2 editions of the Stephen Curry sneakers. Sneakers which you'll see anywhere now, in any Under Armour store across the world. Yeah. And at the release of these two sneakers, the revenue for shoes for Under Armour were beyond $1 billion. So that was definitely a gamble in the right direction. And by the way, Under Armour also gave Stephen Curry his basketball camp.
All right.
Made him one happy camper, and also helped the future youth of the Basketball Association in the future. So what happened? What happened over there was called the pitch. And the pitch is the final exam given to us by clients. Yes. But unlike the exams you get in school, there is no grading system. There's only pass or fail. And usually only one person gets to pass. For many of us in this session today, the pitch can be daunting, scary, because it's a test of our ideas. But the pitch is also a chance for us to shine and show not only what we are made of, but what we can make in the future. And to do that, it all relies on the way we go out there and deliver the pitch.
Thank you for sharing, Donald. The thing is actually, I've been doing lots of pitching within the company either, because we always bring in the new ideas, new concept of management, new restructure. Recently, I've been trying to re-engineer a company, so staff should be doing different things. This skill is useful for any time. Pitching is any time. Even when you're selling a product, you're still pitching, right? But what should we do? How do we prepare? I mean, is there any skills, simple and fast, straightforward tips that you can provide to us?
Yeah, there certainly are. Okay, so one of the things which I always tell people is I say, when we go out there and pitch, who are we pitching for? Are we pitching for ourselves or pitching for the audience? Yeah. I recall before that we had a discussion and you mentioned that you're pitching to different audiences. Sometimes you're pitching to financial experts. Yes. Sometimes you're pitching to technical experts.
Exactly.
Now, here's one thing you'll find. You take the same pitch, you take it to 5 different audiences, you get 5 different outcomes. That's right. So what that tells you is this. The first rule about pitching is this. It's not about you, it's about them. Okay. We have to first understand who the audience is. Yes. Understanding who is the audience, understanding how we can go out there and work with them, give them what they want. That's the first point. And on that note, let me share with you a slide that can probably help you over here. Usually, the question is how to go out there and prepare better for a pitch. Right? Where do we start? And many people often, they start their pitch by preparing the PowerPoint slides. Let's put together our visual aids. Don't do that. Okay? It's not gonna make it any better. It's not gonna make it very effective.
Okay.
What you do want to do is, like I said before, first thing you do is you start off with understanding who the audience is. Why are they there? What do they want to hear? And what are you going to say to go and compel them in the direction that you want them to be compelled towards to? Audience analysis is the first thing. Second part is you have to understand what is your objective. What do you want the audience to think, feel, or do at the end of your pitch? And oftentimes people miss this. They don't know what they're trying to go and bring the audience to arrive at the end of the pitch. Usual responses I get is, I want the customer to buy our product. I want the investors to invest in us. Okay, we understand that. But if they are going to do that or make those actions and decisions, what must they think, feel, and do first before they make that decision? So understanding your objective for the audience, for your pitch, is the second thing. Now, once you have that understanding, you know who the audience is, you know what's your objective, then you have to put together the right kind of content, the right kind of information. And that content and information is going to help your audience arrive at that objective. That's what you're going to say, which is your content. If you follow this order, you reduce the amount of content that you pitch, which for many people who are very passionate about their organizations, such as entrepreneurs, they often have this issue. they have too much content to say in too little time.
Yes.
Preparing in this order.
This is why there's always a elevator pitch. You only get a few seconds to get it done, right?
The elevator pitch is to go and make the audience feel a certain way in a matter of 60 seconds.
Yes.
What I call it elevator pitch. And once you have that content, what you then do is you then put that content into a logical order, right? And that order is an organized beginning, middle, and end. Now, with that logical order, audiences can follow your ideas, your pitch, your concepts a lot easier. And organizing that content with a clear beginning, middle, and end makes people in the audience follow it like a story. And the funny thing is, everyone in the world loves stories. And if you pitch like a story, people will follow it and they'll remember it a lot better. Okay?
That's right.
People don't remember data, facts, figures, statistics. They remember stories. So if you make it like a story, people remember it a lot better.
Yep.
And the last thing that you do if you want to prepare the pitch is you want to walk through everything that you've prepared so far. And by walking through, you of course will practice, you put together your visual aids now. The last step is visual aids, okay? Because if you have your storyline together, then you add the pictures to the storyline. We don't put pictures up first and then write a storyline later on, okay? It doesn't work that way. So by putting together a storyline, walking through and practicing, it'll help us go out there and better be confident in front of the audience. Because when you're pitching, practice will give you confidence. And that's one of the most important things that we have to be able to show and demonstrate in front of audiences.
Donald, of course, I mean, like, we have to be very, very organized. But still, I believe most of the startups or people like us have some new business ideas. The first kind of target audience is the VC or the investor. Can you tell us from your experience? I think you have helped out lots of startups before. What kind of questions will the investor be interested? How do we prepare?
That's a very good question, actually. I can share with you what every audience will be thinking in the back of their minds when they're watching any pitch.
Sure.
No matter if they're investors, no matter if they are clients, potential business partners, they're thinking three things: why us, why must, and why trust. Okay, and these three questions pop up in their head constantly throughout your pitch. The funny thing is, these questions don't always get answered in people's pitches, because sometimes you'll see pitches that will answer the why us question. Why should they trust you? But they don't answer the why must they believe in you, buy you, do this right now. And if that's the case, what happens is they'll say, okay, well, later, maybe. Okay, I'll buy it later on. Sometimes pitches will answer the question, why us and why must? But they don't answer the question, why should they trust you? And if that's the case, they'll think it's a little bit risky. And then you have pitches which will answer the why must and the why trust question, but they don't answer the why us. And if they do that, then they'll say, I can maybe choose other options. I'll shop around. So for many people who go out there and do their pitch, beforehand, they should be able to answer the three questions: why us, why must, and why trust.
Right. Donald, besides this, is there anything your company, Milestone 3, can help the startups? Because I'm sure that they're not just the pitching for the investors. There are some other thing we should concern, and as a consultant or advisor, what kind of services you can provide?
Very good. I mean, pitching is one of the beginnings, and it's also very fundamental. And beyond the pitch, there are other things which you have to do. And currently, I work a lot with many startups to go out there and increase their business, expand their outreach. And by doing this without having to go and increase additional resources. One of the simplest ways to go and do that is to increase the sales effectiveness of their teams.
Right.
And many entrepreneurs are very lean in their startup organizations. And when they go out there, they may not have the experience to go out there and sell to corporates, larger clients. What we do is we give them very simple techniques to go out there and make a strong impact, convince clients in a persuasive way, in a trustworthy way, to be on board with their new technology, the new offering. And by doing so, they land larger clients, which can potentially flourish in a future relationship. So beyond the pitch is one of the things which many companies, beyond startups actually, often think about. And it's very simple. Every company, I'm sure, would want to go out there and sell more without having to go and buy additional resources. sell more with the same people you have on hand. Why not? And that's what we do.
Great. Okay. Thank you for your time, Donald, today. I'm sure that I will come back to you too, because there are always lots of new technology and new projects come up in Hong Kong right now, and I'm sure that we need your service a lot. So, well, please come to our show again next time, and maybe you can tell us what the latest trend of the VC market or the startup market later on.
Sounds great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.